President Biden and the First Lady arriving in the Vatican this morning ahead of their visit with Pope Francis.
It's good to be back.
But landing in Europe without the political victory the president had been hoping for. While President Biden was in flight, the House postponed any vote on a bipartisan infrastructure bill until at least next week after progressives refused to support it amid a standoff over the larger $1.75 trillion social spending bill.
Clearly, to my mind, it has some major gaps in it.
But overnight, progressives expressed confidence they could pass both bills together in the next week.
Our plan is to try to get this done very quickly.
The president earlier privately telling Democrats, quote, "I don't think it's hyperbole to say that the Democratic House and Senate majorities and my presidency will be determined by what happens in the next week."
After months of tough and thoughtful negotiations, I know we have a historic economic framework.
President Biden, before departing Washington, announced a breakthrough in the talks.
No one got everything they wanted, including me. But that's what compromise is. That's consensus. And that's what I ran on.
What began as a sprawling $3.5 trillion proposal was steadily whittled down, the negotiations leaving both moderates and progressives unsatisfied. What is in that massive spending plan? Universal pre-K, a one-year extension of the child tax credit that millions of parents now receive in the form of monthly checks, the largest ever investment in affordable housing, and the biggest item of them all, more than $500 billion in clean energy and climate investments.
When paired with the bipartisan infrastructure bill, we will truly transform this nation.
What's been knocked out of the plan? Tuition-free community college, a broad expansion of Medicare, and paid family and medical leave. With Republicans united against it, Democrats can't pass the plan without every Senate Democrat, including West Virginia's Joe Manchin, whose opposition has forced them to abandon key climate change provisions and paid leave for working parents, all of it frustrating his colleagues.
What I don't like is this idea that one guy would stand in the way of doing it.
Peter, you mentioned the president was hoping to have this deal finalized by now. That's not happening. But how do these delays impact his trip overseas and what happens in Washington?
Yes, Savannah, it's exactly right. The president is here for the G20 and a separate summit that'll take place in Scotland next week that's going to focus on climate change. He had hoped to have specific U.S. achievements to point to before those gatherings, really to help kind of fortify his call for action by world leaders. White House officials, for their part, they've really downplayed any concerns. They insist that those leaders are sophisticated, that they understand that these are complex negotiations, and that the U.S. will get it done. But it certainly would have given the president a big boost. He has a series of meetings with world leaders beginning a little bit later today. Savannah, back to you.
Peter Alexander traveling with the president. Thank you, Peter.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.